Hey everybody, welcome to the season 5 preview show with me and Dan. Dan's not on camera today, mostly I think because he's just had a bath and that's a picture nobody wants to see. So unfortunately you've got me. But Dan is here on audio, hopefully. Let us know if the audio is rubbish again and I'll try and fiddle with the settings, but hopefully it's better than it has been previously. So yes, welcome to tonight's show. So we are going to kick off the season 5 preview show now. I can see that Eric has joined us. If anybody else is watching, please feel free to join in the chat, and we'll make it a little bit as interactive as we can. Dan has done all of the slides again. I've been really busy this weekend, and yeah, Dan is much more efficient than me. Before we started, I was saying he's the kid who does all the homework, and I'm the cool kid now. Apparently, that just copies the cool kid. So, but yeah, here we go. So this is what we've got coming up in tonight's show. So we've got the last word on season 4, followed by going through the team by team preview for season 5. Then we have the fun and games with our playoff predictions, which wait and see if we actually agree on anything. Pre-warning is usually we don't. And then we've got the season 5 players, the ones to watch. So the last word from season 4, really I'm going to pass over to Dan, seeing as it was his season again. So obviously you beat Mr. Tinyface in the final 3-2. The stats are up on screen, Dan, if you want to talk us through it from the victor's point of view. It probably will be, I would guess, until the end of today, perhaps, because I think it's usually live for a couple of, or it's available for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I need to watch that back because particularly sort of halfway through the second half when it looked like Mr. Tinyface had got the game tied up, and then you managed to break that wall of dwarves and push him in for the second. Oh, hang on a second. Some would say that's a good thing. Just try talking again. Let us know if that's better. Please say yes. Oh crap! They still. Well, Eric's saying that he can't hear you, but how does he know that you asked, "Can we hear him?" Let's see what is wrong with the settings. I know. What can I say? It should be using the right device. Okay, let's try that. Is that any better?
How about now?
If somebody can say if they either can or can't hear.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Good. Did you say anything? Did you say anything important before when nobody could hear you?
Not particularly. I just thought it was a cracking game, wasn't it? The final.
It was. Yeah.
Going the distance, going straight through to overtime. It looked like it was all over for the Vampires when the Dwarfs got it in the corner. Looked like they were stalling out for the win. Vampires were being ejected from the field. Browns were being kicked off the field. Managed to force the score and managed to bring it back to overtime. It was one hell of a game.
It was.
I've put a YouTube video of it on my YouTube account, and I think it's on your Twitch for one more day.
Yeah, and if at some stage both the preview show for the season 4 preview, the final preview show, words in some sort of an order. And the final itself, we do intend to get up onto the Bingo YouTube channel as well. We just need to get that sorted out. So, but that was season 4. I've just spotted an error in that it says season 5, the last word at the top, but we'll not pick on Dan's error, seeing as he's done all the work over the last. I
am just going to say that I did send it to you and ask you to proof check it for me.
You did.
So this is on you.
And now I'm proofing it as we go through. So the season 5 overview. So the format is the same as previous seasons. We've got 4 divisions, each of 6 teams. We've got round robin for the first 5 games. Then the game 6 grudge match is obviously first v second, third versus fourth, and 5th versus 6th. So that final game really does mean something. Into the playoffs will be the 4 divisional champions plus the 2 best records of the rest of the teams. The 2 best records get the bye in the first week, and third plays 6th and 4th plays 5th.
Third plays 5th and 4th plays 6th.
Something like that. For those of us who've never made it to the playoffs, we don't care. The loser ladder will also be live for the rest of us. The way that the leagues have been split, a little bit different to last season. The same general principle, so it's based on the TV value, which you can see on screen there. But also a deciding factor in splitting it was the draft picks, which I came up with. So I'm going to claim all credit if it works, and if it goes wrong, then forget I ever said this, and we'll revert back. But what I mentioned to Nate and Eric was I was concerned if there was high TV teams that were either newcomers or teams that had really struggled last season, potentially being drawn in the same league as a really well established team with a coach that's got more experience. So it was for example, last season in Not with Mr. Tidyface, he ran away with that league because he got a really good, strong developed team in comparison to the rest of the teams, which were fairly new. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that, and
he's also a brilliant coach. That helps.
Oh, he is absolutely.
but yeah, definitely having the pre-season development team versus 5 new teams with high T value.
Yeah, I'm regretting that, as we'll see when we get to N division. But we'll start with the man division. So up on screen now are the coaches and their records over the previous 4 seasons. So I'm not going to read it all out because you're perfectly capable of reading.
So again, I pulled all of this off Joe's website.
Yeah, and that is a really, really good tool. Anybody who's wanting to check it out, it's Bingo BBL something. I don't know why I do this. I'm just here to make Dan look good.
You know what? I'm going to put it in the comments. I'm so clever.
Excellent, even better.
There we go.
That's the website. So anybody who hasn't checked it out, definitely do, because that's where Dan gets all the stats from, and then I randomly talk about them after he's done all the hard work. So moving on to Cantor, Reggie Reg. He's the first team that we're going to look at. So he's gone Underworld this season, and he's brought 3 draft picks in. Shaggoth Tiddy, who is an Underworld Goblin, with 2 heads. We've got Chiffy Nizzit, the Skaven Thrower, which has got, I can't see what that symbol is.
Yeah, extra arms.
Extra arms, okay.
+1 to catch and +1 to pick up, maybe? Yeah, pick up, I think.
Cool. And then Sippy Cup, who we will talk about in more detail later, as he was involved in a massive bidding war with lots of shenanigans going on. He is the Skaven Blitzer with Mighty Blow.
I expected him to have like 3 or 4 skills the way people were fighting over him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. if Holly Gibney had been in the draft, I know she'd have had a lot of attention as well. But Sippy Cup, just everybody wanted him. So yeah, you'd have thought he was sort of level 3 or 4, and like Brian the Vanquisher. But we'll see if he develops in that way as the season progresses.
I think it's that access to what teams can take him. I think he's very available for quite a few teams, which all helps.
That's right.
Yeah, their interest.
But the rest of the team are all new. Obviously, all fresh Underworld players. So there is obviously the Troll, another Blitzer, a lineman, a couple of linemen, and then the rest Goblins. So for those playing the drinking game, Dan, what do you think?
Well, I've said so that's one.
So that's two
one
shots.
Well,
three shots.
I think I'm going to consciously start doing this now. It was unconscious before, but
yeah, that's right. I'm the same.
Again. Yeah, it's going to be good for next season. I think he'll take a season or so to develop, like Underworld do.
Yeah.
And next season you'll see it come into its own. But I think it'll be a tough opening season for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the real tough bit is lots and lots of Armour 7, and depending on the other teams, which we'll go on to shortly, it is definitely fragile, unless you're Janes are, in which case Armour 7 is the new Armour 10.
I mean, the one saving grace is that in this division there's no dwarfs and there's no chaos dwarfs, so there's very little tackle, so that will help the goblins to survive.
Yeah.
And once they get 6 SPP, they get the 2 heads, they become absolute nightmares.
Yeah, that's right.
Dodging anywhere over 2+, and then you get 2+ built-in reroll.
Definitely. Moving on to yeah, well, that's right. The mutations can give you really interesting developments. If we move on to Eggers with his Skaven side, so again a fresh team. He's drafted just a couple of players. He's got the Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaur, Robert Anton Wilson, who has dodge. Is that? And the Chaos Dwarf Blocker, Frank Zappa, which has got guard. Guard's always a useful thing to have. And then obviously there's 4 gutter runners in this team, along with 2 storm vermins and the rest linemen. So again, quite a decent amount of Armour 7. I'm saying him a lot now.
You'll notice that I managed to make a mistake already. So I said there was no dwarfs in the division, and here we go with Frank Zappa appearing.
Yeah,
although he is only been 4, and it's only one of him, so
well, that's
should
right.
Be able to keep your goblins.
Yeah, they'll stay away. They'll never catch him. So Skaven obviously got the ability to score very quickly, especially with the 4 gutter runners in there.
Yeah, I mean, this looks a really good, strong team. 4 gutter runners. You got the 2 Skaven blitzers. Most of this division, when you look at it, you'll see that there's a lot of stunty in there. So these gutter runners are going to have an absolute field day.
Yeah.
I think there's at least 2 halfling teams in this division. They're not going to catch them.
No, that's right.
The gutter runners are almost twice the movement of the halflings.
Yeah. So they can have a big gap head start and then still be gone. But it's like Usain Bolt against me granny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is Eggers. He's got 3 rerolls as well. Also got the Apo as well. Same as.
One thing to just notice actually is this team's 1200 TV, whereas I think most of the teams in this league are either 1100 or much less.
Okay, so going to be facing lots of inducements then.
Yeah. So the halflings will have a bit of a field day with all the extra inducements they'll get against the Skaven. That'll be the one saving grace.
Yeah, that's right. So Mr. Tinyface, completely flipped, as he said he was going to do from last season's very bloated dwarves, which took him all the way to the Bingo Bowl final. This season is going with the halflings, the palate cleanser for this season, while his TV is salary cap is very low. So he's got completely new team with just one draft, which is the draft is Minto Twin Toes, the fling with block. Everybody else new, so a couple of treemen, everybody else flings. Got 4 re-rolls and likely to get the potential for the chef. I can't remember if he said he got the stadium enhancement or not.
Yeah, he does. I think.
So the opportunity for the chef is obviously there. Flings are always.
What I would say is that he's not got an Apo, so he clearly don't care that much about Minto, his draft selection.
No, and I mean the thing is,
he's
kind of. Why would you?
I wouldn't bother even, to be honest. But
I mean, I love the naming from Mr. Tinyface. I love the names that he came up with on the dwarves, and for the flings, they're all some kind of ammunition. So, I think they'll be a fun team to watch. I don't envisage them getting through to the playoffs, but I think they'll be a fun team, and I think they will spring a few surprises because, as you said earlier, Mr. Tinyface is a good coach, knows what he's doing. So,
yeah, and halflings always have that potential. They are such a banana skin because in one game they will take away all 3 of your re-rolls.
Yeah,
and then you're just open to having those early turnovers and.
Well, that's right. And the thing playing as flings is you are expected to lose every game. So therefore, if you don't, you've exceeded expectations, and the coach playing you goes into the game expecting to win. And again, if they're struggling, it's like, well, I should be winning this game, and you get frustrated. And so yeah, it's all good fun with the flings. You're playing against.
Yeah, absolutely. You put yourself under pressure almost because I'm against flings tonight. I need to win this.
Awoof is saying that the flings are going to make the playoffs. That's a bold statement, and we shall see what happens. I think Awoof may just want the flings to get through so that he can just kill them all in the playoffs.
He's licking his lips if he got to face the halflings.
Now we move on to the obvious sort of front runner for the league. I would suggest you yourself are playing down your chances as usual, but double or triple winners now. I've lost count.
It is 3 times.
Okay.
Only once for the vampires. Yeah, so it's a bit of a development season again because they lost one of the vampires last season. We lost Nero, who was probably actually the best player on the team. The most important player. He had strip ball and wrestle.
Yeah, that was a goal,
wasn't
really
it? Well. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that combined really well with the gazes. So I would gaze a hole, and then the Frowl would come through and wipe the ball.
Yep.
So we're missing him, and that's quite a big blow. We're only down to 11 players at the moment as well. So.
And your first game, whoever that is, you've got you got Cantankerous Cantor misses the first game, following on from the injury in the final. So.
Well, I am the only team in this division that's a returning team. Everyone else is new, so I guess that's in my advantage. And half the division's stunty teams. So
yeah, as it was for you last season as well. I think the fact that you always have such a low salary cap because of obviously always winning means you always end up in the fun. Sort of stunted team league. So,
yeah, maybe that's something to look at going forward. I don't know, but then I don't know what the perfect solution is in terms of grouping teams.
moving on to Mickey Ann, he's also gone with the Flings. Obviously, his Flings are returning. Just to completely turn around what you just said about you the only returning team.
Oh yeah,
it's nice to make a change that I'm pulling you up on something. So, but yeah, so obviously Mickey Ann's Flings do return. So he's got a couple of treatment. One's got piling on, I think, and a couple of Wood Elf linemen with block. He's also got kick and what else has he got there? Sure feet. Don't know what that one is. Don't know. I think
Owoof has just turned fanboy over this tree we're piling on.
We're all really looking forward to seeing the animation when it happens. I think Joe's just said that as well. So yeah, we'll all be watching that and expecting clips of it to be put onto Discord. You would say of the two Fling teams, obviously Mr. Tinyface and Mickey Ann, you would arguably give Mickey Ann the edge because his is a little bit more developed. But having said that, he's also got a couple of Wood Elves as well.
Well, I would disagree with that, actually, because the problem with when you go mixed team with halflings is you lose that cheap Master Chef.
You do lose that. And also Mickey Ann's
you lose the star players.
TV is quite a bit higher as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if the extra Flings the extra elves were worth it, really.
Well, especially as they're all armor 7, so he's got 3 armor 7. All the rest of his team's armor 6. So that team value could very, very quickly disappear. And then, as you say, you've got no chef or no cheap chef, no star players, and it becomes a tough one.
Like you say, when being armor 7, you could actually find within 2 games you've lost all 3 of those elves, and now you're a mixed team with no mixed players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unlikely, but there is that possibility.
It is, and I mean, I suppose the advantage is because everybody in this league is non-bashy. It's more unlikely to happen, but yeah, it's still possible. But if we move on to Nate with his High Elves, so this is a fresh team as well. Only 2 re-rolls, which may or may not be an issue. So Nate
might be an issue when you're up against the halflings with the Master Chef.
Yeah. No, that's right.
But when you're playing as elves, you can't usually have more than 2 re-rolls anyway. Usually 2 is fine. You get by.
Yeah, I mean he's got. It looks like he drafted 3 players. So he drafted the movement bust Balinor, along with a couple of others that have both got block as well. So yeah, I mean obviously most of the team are armor. Well, so it's about half armor 7, half armor 8. Elves have the ability to score as well. I think the Skaven side are obviously probably. I would say the Skaven are probably in a better position than the Elves just for the ability to score quickly.
Yeah, those elf catchers are going to be fantastic. Again, struggle for the halflings and the underworld to really catch them and then even do anything to them because they're actually strength free, the catchers.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, my dogs have decided now's a good time to play with. They're playing with a scorpion.
Wow.
So very brave. Yeah. So if we go for the,
I like this team, and I think this team's going to do well.
If we look at the team overview now for Jack, we'll come on to the our predictions at the start when we've gone through all the divisions. So if we go into Jack, you can see on screen the coaches. So we've got 3 coaches that are fairly new. So Luke, in fact, four coaches that are pretty new. So Lanicus and Luke played last season. And then Ginesar and incredibly FM are both brand new coaches. Obviously, Jack has historically been the League of Champions, We'll talk about whether that's likely to be the case again. Obviously, Zen is and Eric are the two experienced coaches in this league. So if we move on to the actual teams themselves, so Lanicus, who is returning with his Chaos team, that you beat him in the semis, didn't you? Is that right?
I fluked to win in the semis against him. I absolutely fluked it. It required a long pass through Disturbing Presence, I think, with a vampire.
Yeah, I mean this is a really, really good team. Obviously, already pretty well developed. He's got the Nurgle Warrior with guard. All the Chaos Warriors have got block, and one of them has also got Mighty Blow. And then all the Beastmen have obviously come with the horns. Also got one with block, one with tackle, and one with, I don't know what that skill is on human.
Leader, I think.
Leader, okay.
So.
From a commentary point of view, this team is a nightmare because none of the players are what you think they are. Only two rerolls.
Team has lost two key pieces since the semi-final. So Dwarf, the original Dwarf died in that game, and he had Strength 4 and Wrestle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He was quite a good piece. And then at the end of the season, Caligula, which was the Beast of Nurgle that had block, retired.
Yep.
So that's a massive player to lose as well. But yeah, I still think this is a very good team. And,
yeah, definitely.
See them do well. Lanicus did very well last season.
Yeah. And but for your usual bullshit plays, he'd have been in the final.
Hell, you should back me into a corner. I had to make that.
If we move on to Gianzar, so the first brand new player joining this season, so he's got a brand new team. He was one of the guys who was trying to get Sippy Cup. In the end, he just took Ambiorix, the Dark Elf Blitzer with Agility 5. That I can say from experience in the friendly that I played with him, that Dark Elf Blitzer is he just plays him as if he can go anywhere, and then he does. I was playing as a lizard team against this team, and he absolutely beat up my lizards. There was 4 injuries. I think 4 Sauruses were injured, and one of my skinks was killed from this rat team. So he knows how to play bash with a non-bash side, and he also knows how to move the ball and score. He's got 3 gutter runners. He's got two storm vermins with block. Obviously the thrower, the linemen, which obviously are just there for fodder, and then he has got the rat ogre as well. Thoughts on this team?
It looks dangerous. 13 players, big roster. Only downsides obviously is the 2 rerolls.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very good team. You've got 3 gutter runners. That's 3 players who can score at will. And like you say, you got that Edge 5 piece that can do what he wants when he wants.
And he did also win the inaugural tournament as well. So although he's new to the league, he's a good player. He knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he will get some good results with this team as the season goes on.
He got lucky.
He beat you, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he didn't play me.
Oh, did he not? I think
he got to play. He got to play against the AI, the fix.
Okay. And then, but he did beat Ian Grimm, I think.
Yes, he hammered me in Grimm Bowl.
Okay. Just putting that out there that Dan has actually lost to this guy. So, if we move on to Luke, so Luke last season played elves, and his elves struggled with their low armor. He's gone completely new Nurgle team, so he decided not to draft anybody because he wanted to not screw up the naming convention. So obviously you can see from the names of the players, it's all viruses and diseases, and Nurgle as a starting lineup takes some time to develop. So I would suggest this is probably going to be a sort of a slow burn season for him until he starts getting some levels. But once they do start developing, Nurgle can be a tough team to play against.
Yeah, and I would have said exactly the same thing. However, he has been playing Nurgle in the Cabal League, and he's doing quite well with them, even from like the rookie stage. I think he's about 50% win rate with Nurgle, possibly just above 50%. So
that's pretty good.
Probably pull a few surprises. I don't think he'll. There you go. He's got his record there, 7-5-7. I don't think he'll challenge for playoffs this season, but I think he will cause an upset or two.
Yeah, and really this season it's about getting that development so that then season 2, season 3, they really will be a threat. Up towards the top end challenging. So keep an eye out for this team developing. Then we've got Zen. So he has been playing Dark Elves for the last couple of seasons. He switched to Lizards. So he has drafted a Saurus with guard and block, which I think is a really good combo. He's also got Gabriela Lopez, the Amazon thrower, with Sure Hands, is that?
Sure Hands.
And Amazon catcher with block as well. So we know that Zen is a good coach as well. Obviously made the playoffs last season. The thing with Lizards, again, similar to Nurgle, until they start getting some levels, the dice can really do you in. But once he starts getting some block or something on the Sauruses, they can be a tough team to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of those draft picks. I don't think the Amazon thrower. I don't think a thrower is a particularly great positional, really.
Not for a Lizard team. You don't. Yeah, I mean, I've played Lizards over in Tiki, and I can't imagine ever playing them as a throw-in team.
No, and same with the catcher. Like I would have thought your Skinks going to be the ones that you want to pass the ball to go run and score. But I don't know. I mean, a blodge piece is quite good, so that's. I'm sure it'll be useful.
I think the other thing that he's got the option there is to really stretch the pitch, so he can throw to his catcher. The catcher can hand off to a skink, and he can go from one end of the pitch to the other very, very quickly.
There you go. Joe agrees. Joe says that Amazons can't pass or catch. So.
Wolf disagrees though, and agrees with me that Sure Hands is good for a Lizard team, and you can hand off. So yeah, I can see why Zen's gone for what he's gone for.
Me and you both know that Owoof is insane, and if you're saying, "Oh well, Owoof agrees with me," well, I think you need to just remember who Owoof is.
I don't think he's insane. I think he's just misunderstood. Then we move on to the next brand new coach. So incredibly forgetful Meower, Chaos Dwarf team. So again, brand new team. He's drafted 2 players. So he's drafted the Orc Blitzer, which has, I don't know what that skill is.
Where are we looking?
The Orc Blitzer Bro Pick. Is that Dauntless? Yeah. So I did know what it was. And then he's got a gutter runner with horns. I'm a bit surprised that somebody took a horns on a gutter runner.
Yeah, not as a first pick I want to take horns, but I do get it, and I've heard the rationale for it, that use him as like a sacker piece, so that he can go blitz the ball carrier on a strength 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Without block first, I just won't bother really.
He has got a lot of block and tackle in this team with obviously his Chaos Dwarf blockers though. So he's also got both the Bull Centaurs. So on paper, this is any Chaos Dwarf team is pretty good out of the gate. It doesn't have the same problems as the Nurgle and the Lizards in the fact that it needs time to develop. This kind of team is he's good out of the gate, and then when it starts to get developments, especially if they go with the what's the word I'm looking for? Mutations. They can become horrible teams to play.
Yeah, well, having played against Eric's Chaos Dwarfs, I can definitely say that Chaos Dwarfs plus any Gutter Runner just turns them into a fantastic team.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean the other thing with the Gutter Runner, I don't know what the draft was looking like at that stage. So it may have been that Gutter Runner was actually the one that he had the best chance of picking up, and therefore a Gutter Runner in this team is he can ignore the horns if he wants to and develop the handling skills as it develops. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't say I took that much interest in the draft. I kind of breezed through it, saw there was no one dead players, and got upset and carried on with vampires as they were.
Yeah, so Eric's saying that he had priority, so he got the better Gutter Runner. So yeah, it could well be the reason. Yeah. So, speaking of Eric, the Joyous Jerks. His team this season is also Chaos, but a little bit more developed than the previous one. So he's got quite a lot more developed actually. He's got Moorice the Minotaur, which has got Guard and don't know.
No point even talking about Moorice. He's worst player in the league. He's awful.
Okay.
I think Eric just needs to bin off taking big guys. They never work for him.
He has got a lot of guard with the Chaos Dwarf blockers.
You can hate me, but it's true. He died first turn, and the team did better after he died. He went on to hammer me. Was it 4-1?
It was, yeah, it was. So just imagine how good he'd be with that piece playing. He's also got kick. He's also got a strength 5 Black Orc. I mean, that's a big guy on his own, with block.
Yeah,
and no
he's fantastic, that guy.
Yeah, so Claude Debussy is definitely one to watch. The Gutter Runner's got sure hands, so he's basically just picking the ball up. But they pick the ball up on a 2-up anyway, don't they?
Yeah, but he gets a reroll now to pick it up.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'd get, but yeah, I suppose. And the other Gutter Runner, obviously Bruce Bryan, we've talked about. What are the skills on that one? Sure feet, and what's the middle skill?
Sprint.
Does it sprint? So that's a definite one-turn threat as well. So okay, so Eric's saying that Brian came with sure hands. So basically, that's your fault.
Oh, I don't remember doing that. Why did that? I was maybe scared about strip ball.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It was sprint I gave him, and yeah, I was looking for a one-turner.
Yeah,
I wanted him to be able to score in one turn.
Eric's now saying he might have been in.
We've all got dementia.
I think again, this is a good, really good threatening side. One possible concern might be the lack of an Apo. So if one of those developed players gets a permanent injury or a death early doors before he can afford an Apo, that could be an issue.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that'll be his first purchase. As soon as he gets 50k, he'll be. That's what he said in the comments. He's scared to beat one.
Yeah. Not finally. End. We're halfway through. So I think End division is going to be the most competitive division in the fact that it has so many developed teams. So Isaac, I think he's probably the guys who on paper has got the least developed team. I think Nadrax is
just looking over previous records of everyone. 5 of the 6 coaches have all finished in the top 10 in at least one previous season.
Yeah.
It's a very tough league, that one. When it came to me doing my predictions, this was the one league I ain't got a clue to.
Yeah,
down, really.
I was much the same. I mean, we'll start off. So Isaac Schilder is going with Elven Union, in a league with Owuth. I would be slightly concerned by all that armor 7 against the ogres, so long as the ogres can catch them.
The ogres won't do anything this season. They had a ridiculous season last year. They're not going to do it again this season. The boneheads were like 90% successful last time. It cannot continue.
I think they will. So this, as I said, is the least developed team in this league, and he has got 4 rerolls and an Apo, and the 2 draftees are Galadriel, the War Dancer, who is a bit of a beast of a player, and Obelix, the Dark Elf Blitzer, who's got Blodge. The rest of the team are out of the gate, but with the elves, you know, they have so many options to score and move the ball. Just the downside is if they get hit.
Elf Union is a really fantastic team, but the problem is you've only got 2 players that have got armor 8, and if and when those pieces go out, you've got nothing to put up any defense.
Yeah, and obviously both of those have got block as well. And
but now that he's got Obelix and Galadriel on the draft, it makes the team even more dangerous now on the defense.
Yeah.
You've got the War Dancer that can leap in and strip ball to go do it.
Sorry about
You've
that.
now got a Blodge Dark Elf in there as well to help just get in the way and be a nuisance.
Yep.
So it's going to be quite a good team.
I think
as soon as those catches, I can't believe he's got 4 catches. That's fantastic. Once those catches start getting block and dodge or wrestle and dodge, they'd become a nightmare as well.
Yeah, no, I think this is. I'll be honest. Obviously, I've had a bit of a look at all of the teams in this league because I'm in it, and I don't like the look of playing against any of them. But I mean, this team can definitely cause problems for any team in the division, even though it's new. And if they stay alive, they can level very quickly.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Nadrak's team. I really like this team. So this is the Brett's team that he was playing with last year. And again, Nadrak again is a good coach. He's got 4 rerolls. He's got the Apo. He's got lots of development in the team as well. So he's got the Treeman that's got guard. He's got the War Dancer that's got tackle. He's got a couple of blockers that also have guard. Obviously, they've got lots of wrestle, block. He's got a movement up on Sir Lances a lot, and he's got fend as well. So,
I mean, you said that this team's got loads of levels and stuff. It has got loads of levels. It's all on one player. Mr. Superstar Sir Lancelot himself.
Yeah, I mean he
absolute is, SPP hog.
Yeah, but I do think that this team have the ability to go far this season.
Yeah, I think now that those 2 blockers have got guard, the team becomes a lot better now.
Yeah.
Once you can get a bit more players with guard as well.
Well, especially with the Treeman having guard, because the Treeman just by standing there causes so many problems. He doesn't necessarily have to be hitting with him.
Am I right in thinking there's only 2 blitzers this season? That's quite.
Yes. Yeah, just the 2
blitzers.
That.
I would have maybe dropped a reroll to get more blitzers.
The thing is that he's got, although he's only got 3 pieces with block, he's also got 4 pieces with wrestle. So, you know, he's.
Oh God, there's a War Dancer in there, isn't there? So yes.
Yeah. So and that's obviously Blodge with tackle. So you know, if he wants to go and get the ball, he's going and getting it.
Yeah, that's a very good team.
Yeah.
So I think I would have tried to get the other blitzers in there because they are very good players.
Owuth, It's just the Ogre team again. They were a nightmare last season. They've got 4 piling on. One's got guard. He's got one that's got a movement bust, but doesn't really matter. He's got the Black Orc with sure hands. They both got block. He's also got a Lizardsaurus with block, and then his Noblars, which are just a pain in the arse to try and catch. So only got 2 rerolls.
Everyone in this league will be desperate to play him first, because if you look at his treasury, he's 20k away from buying his 6th ogre.
Yep.
And then the murder really does start. So if you can get him,
that's where the murder starts.
Game 1.
That's where the murder starts from minute 1, turn 1. We saw that in one of the games against you where he got 2 injuries in the first turn. So yeah, I think all of us in this division are concerned. I think probably the Elves are Isaac Schilder's team is probably the best equipped to deal with this, because he can obviously dodge away, and with the movement he's got more of a chance of getting away. But if he doesn't, then the Elves will die.
Yeah.
Then we've got Blaine's Chaos team, and again I played against this team. Me and Blaine were in the same league last season as well. And this is also an incredibly good team. He sort of dropped away the last few games of last season. I was really surprised, because at one point I thought it was a shoe-in to win whatever division it was last year.
There's some real development on this team now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got block on 6 players. You've got mighty blow on 4 players. You've got the agility. Yeah, 5. You've got the agility increase on the Pestigore. You've got the Chaos Beastman that's got both Mighty Blow, Claw, and Horns. You've got the other Chaos Warrior that's also got Mighty Blow, Claw, and Block. And you just think...
I've just seen Ewo's comment. Oh, he deserves that if that happens. After all the pain he inflicted last season.
This team is as scary, if not scarier, than the Ogres. I think this team's scarier than the Ogres. The only slightly beneficial thing is Owoof isn't using it. I mean, if Owoof was using this team, it doesn't matter thinking about. We move on to me now, and I mean my team's pretty well developed. I've got a decent amount of block now. I've got Mighty Blow block. I've got Frenzy and Guard on a Blitzer. I've got a Blitzer that's got block, tackle, and strip ball. So I've got tools. Obviously, not mentioning
he has more than he has more XP than the rest of the team put together.
Yeah, but the rest of the team isn't underdeveloped anymore.
No, it's not.
But when the last season ended, I was feeling quietly confident that I could make a decent fist to go in for the playoffs this season, in what is likely to be the last season for this team, because they're up for retirement at the end of the season, and Holly's already been up for retirement once already. And
what confuses me about your team is that Harold, he's got guard, but then he's also got frenzy. A frenzy piece just seems like the last person you'd also give guard to.
Yeah, well, you've got to bear in mind that I'm stupid, and really that that really sums it up.
Maybe there is some sense to it. It's just that you don't particularly know where that your frenzy piece is going to end up.
The thing is that I put guard on him first, and then I was playing dwarves and loved my Troll Slayer that much, and thought I really need to get a frenzy piece, and he was the next piece that leveled up. So he got it. You got to bear in mind there's no planning with me. It just kind of happens. So
I mean, to be fair, with Holly Gibney, it took you 5 level ups before you finally took block. So
she didn't need it. To be fair, I mean, I rolled doubles first.
I guess.
Yeah, I rolled doubles first to get the strength, which obviously was a massive help. And then I just wanted to make a more of a threat with the ball and didn't really think about taking block until then. I suddenly thought, well, actually, if she gets hit, having block is going to be really helpful.
I believe she survived all that long without block, to be honest.
Yeah, so like I say, before at the end of last season, I was quietly confident, and now I've seen who I'm matched up against this season, and I'm really not, because I think all of the other teams can definitely beat me. So, having said that, I do feel that I could also beat them, but I don't think there's going to be any one team that runs away with this, and it's everybody can beat everybody.
Yeah, and I think when we come to my predictions, this is kind of why I didn't put a wild card down for this division, because I felt every team's going to end up taking points off each other. There'll be no like one or two runaway leaders. You'll all be chipping away at each other.
Well, if we move on to that dude playing with the Pro Elves again, developed, really nice team, got all the tools to be able to do well. The downside again, similar to Isaac's team, lots of armor 7. So for both Blaine and Owuff, and to an extent me as well, the Bashi teams can certainly do damage. There isn't a huge amount of block in this team, but they've got the tools to move the ball. And cause problems.
They've only got 13 players, 11 players at the moment, but they do have enough bank to potentially buy 2 more players.
Yeah, that's right.
What I would do.
Yeah, and
Owuff is licking his lips now at seeing armor 6.
The thing is, that's the one that will survive all season, and it'll be the armor 8 ones that get killed. That's my experience with this kind of thing. So that was N division. So now we're on to Not. So you can see on screen the players in the Not division. You can also see the records of them over the last 4 seasons. So Joey's probably the most experienced coach in this league. Hooflexer is fairly new, only played 1 season so far, and Dr. Tinyface, I know he played in season 3. I can't remember what team he played as. I've got a feeling
Flings.
Was it Flings?
Goblins.
I thought it was either Flings or Goblins, yeah. But if we look at the team, so Namtar has, I think, a really good team here. He's got the quite a decent amount of development on this team. He's got 6 re-rolls, which seems excessive and explains the TV of 1850. He's got a movement 10 gutter runner.
Well, when I was going through all the teams, I noticed that he had about 280k in his bank. But I sent him a message. I said, make sure you spend that bank before play your first game, because that'll end up counting against you.
Yeah.
So he's decided to spend it, and he spent it on rerolls.
Yeah. So.
Well, I've said before, I think 4 rerolls is the absolute limit that you should ever take.
Yeah, and he's not going to be going
really
up against
3, and depending on what team you are.
He's not going to be going up against Flings with the Master Chef either. But this team looks a bit frightening in some respects. He's got a movement 10 gutter runner. He's got an agility 5 gutter runner. He's got
they are fantastic.
An armor 8 Skaven lineman, plus the other levels that you can see on the screen. And his Minotaur's got stand, firm, and claw.
If that movement 10 gutter runner levels up once more, it'll be able to 1-turn touchdown without any kind of pushes or kick-off events or anything like that required. Yeah. It'll literally be able to run 10 squares and then go for it 3 times to score.
Yeah. It's just... I think Luke's right. I think that gutter runner is as good, if not better, than Holly Gibney. Without the bloated SPP on all the other needless skills that I took on her.
I don't think Namtar will be happy with us putting a target on poor gutter runner's back, but yeah, it definitely is true.
Well, it's not just that one either, because Nurgo's Chitter is an agility 5 with block. I think that one's got as big a target as well. Obviously, it's not got the one turn capability quite as as 2-Kit has, but yeah, this team looks good on paper.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're going to be tough to stop. Wadness, the Rottweilers have been gradually developing over the last couple of years, and the question is, will this be the season for them? Also, Wadness has also got six re-rolls as well. Team value for this team is only 1,400 in comparison to the previous one, but he has also got 200k just about in bank.
So that's inflating it as well.
Yeah, but obviously he is going to have a journeyman in game 1 because he's got a player out missed next game.
No, he's still got 11 players.
But he's that's right. Sorry. The Beast has got strength 6, which
just strength 6.
Yeah, and he's also got obviously the stand firm and guard, so he's like a tree. Without the nega traits of not being able to stand up or deep rooting. This looks a decent side as well, to be fair. I don't think necessarily quite as strong as the previous one we talked about, but yeah, this team's nicely developed as well, and I think Wadness could do a few surprises this season with the team as it's developed.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Undead, and it'll pull up a couple of wins, I think.
Yeah. Then we move on to Vexer with his Orcs. So only 4 re-rolls for him. But obviously he's got the Orc team is developed. He's got Cesspool Sid Gutter Runner, which is just disgusting with the Agility 6.
Look at the size of this bench for an Orc team.
Yeah,
it's got a huge bench.
Yeah, no, that's right. Also,
although I have seen him take massive casualties in games before. I seem to recall when he played against it was the Irish guy that left the league, lives in Japan.
Yes, I know.
He was playing as a Underworld team, and they absolutely destroyed the Orcs one game.
Yeah,
did like 9 or 10 casualties. That was it, Horselover. Yeah,
Horselover. That's right.
Absolutely rampage through the team.
Yeah. But hopefully his luck will change this season, and I mean, he's got a couple of other levels. So he's got Mighty Blow on a Black Orc, which I'm sure Owulf will approve of taking Mighty Blow before block. And I'm sure you'll disagree. We're just reopening the debate. So yeah, I mean this team, as you say, has a lot of bench. It doesn't have the development to the other two teams, so from that point of view, may struggle more. But again, on its day, especially with the Gutter Runner, is a threat all by himself. So if we're going to Who Flex's Necro team, again, a really well developed team. This I like this team. So he's got. Go on.
Those 2 werewolves are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, definitely.
I actually messaged him and I said, "Will you trade Brian the Vanquisher for one of them?" But he quite wisely said no.
Yeah, I mean he's got this team. I think is well, we'll see on my prediction shortly, but I think this team is really, really strong. He's got like you say, the werewolves both got block now. One's got an agility up, one's got tackle. You've got most of the players have got levels on them. You've got a reasonable bit of guard in there. You've got Mighty Blow, you've got block, you've got tackle. The tools are all there to do all right. So yeah, I like this team a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic team as well.
Then we move on to Joe. So Joe's got a brand new team, reverting back to Kislev, which did him so well a couple of seasons ago. He has drafted 3 Sauruses all with block, so that adds a decent bit of strength and durability to the line. And then you've got all of the Kislev tricks that come with Kislev.
I want to know who's been playing all these Lizardman teams and who's been giving them all block, because every season someone's drafting Saurus with block.
Yeah, and I don't remember anybody ever playing.
Team. I'm sure I've seen other teams of them as well.
Yeah,
it's like an endless supply of Lizardmen with block.
And then I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't remember anybody playing as Lizardmen, but obviously somebody has done. So
like an endless conveyor belt of Saurus with block.
Yeah,
that are coming into this league.
But again, I think this looks like a decent starting team.
Yeah.
I think again it probably will improve with development. So it might be a sort of a transitional season, should we say?
Oh, I thought that last time he played this.
Well, yeah, and he made the playoffs.
Doing it in season.
Yeah, but he's not got the polar bear yet, has he? Oh, he has. Yeah, actually, he has got the polar bear. So he's at the bottom.
I'm surprised he bothered after what happened last time. When it came up against your Noblar.
Yeah, I mean that was player of the season. 3 red dice, injuring him, but yeah, just a shame I couldn't keep him. Then we move on to Dr. Tinyface's brand new Wood Elf team. He's not gone in the draft at all either. So,
this is the final of the 24 teams. You'll be pleased to.
Yeah, if anybody's getting bored. Yeah, arguably this team has a lot of potential in Wood Elf team, but also he's going to struggle to some point because it's all armor 7 apart from the tree, and up against more experienced teams. In the fact that they've all got developed or some development.
I think he's going to have a lot of fun with this team because I do recall. I remember watching him last season when he last played. And he had a goblin that took leap, and he was just leaping for the fun of it. And now he'll actually be able to leap and actually do something at the end of it with his war dancers. So he'll have a lot more fun this season.
Yeah, and Wood Elves. I mean, we all know I can't play agility teams at all, but Wood Elves are a really good team if you are capable of actually doing something other than bashing things. So, yeah, I think this will be interesting to see how this team develops over the season as well, and potentially could be in the mix for getting into the playoffs, and certainly next season once it's got development will be one to avoid if you're wanting to do well. So we move on to our predictions, and as usual, we don't really agree on very much. So Man Division, I think have gone for you just because you always win everything. You've gone for Nate's High Elves.
Yep, yeah. I just agility for elves, do what they want when they want. It's got the speed to just keep the halflings and stuff at hand's distance. I think they'll do all right.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think ultimately I think it comes down to your experience that will just give you the edge to win the league. But I think you will. I think you will edge it. Jack, we kind of agree. This is the closest that you'll ever see us agree, I think, in the fact that we both mentioned Lanicus. I also think that I'm going to put Zen in as a decent shout because I think he could win it as well. I think both of those teams are very good, and both the coaches are very good as well. So,
yeah, well, I think Jack had, I think 3-4 teams that I felt, oh, this team's possible, but yeah, I think Lanicus after playing him last season, and I think Chaos is just going to slowly get better and better. I think we'll see the Chaos Super Soul Chaos win the league. I might even put them down at the bottom as my champion as well.
Yeah, well, absolutely. For some reason, you picked me to win the End division, and I really can't see it.
Yeah. Do you know what? As we was going through the teams just then, I actually changed my mind. I do think Blaine. I do think Blaine's team. Looking at that again, that looks a fantastic team, and I think Blaine will probably win that division.
Yeah, well, I've gone for Nadrat because I think he's just got the edge. But I'm like I said before, in N division, I really think anybody can beat anybody. And I've said that I think either Awoof or Blaine for the wild card pick as well. I know I do get your argument that we'll all take points off each other, so we'll probably end up not getting the wild card from that division. But I don't know. I think there are too many good teams to.
That was literally my thinking for my wild cards. I didn't think that me and Hooflexer would be like the 5th and 6th best teams in the league. I just literally thought that in Jack and in End teams, there's such a close.
Yeah.
Like
they'll be taking points off one
3 or 4 teams in each.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And not even just 3 or 4, 5, even 6 teams in each of those leagues are all very good and will take points off each other.
Yeah.
They won't get a high score at the end of the league kind of thing. Second place.
Moving
even
on
first
to
place, I think.
Yeah, well, I think that's right. And for the not division, you've gone for Joe's Kislev, presumably from how well he played them last season, season before.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I did that overall, how players have done each season, you look at Joe. Yeah, I think he finished first in his first season, and then 4th and 6th, something like that. So every season he seems to do very well.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a really good coach. I've gone for Hooflexer with the Undead team. I just think he's got that additional development on the team just gives him the edge. But I don't disagree that Joe is going to be in the mix, definitely. Wildcard, I'm sorry, mate.
I think those two will dominate not division. Joe and Hooflexer. One will finish first, one will finish second, and then they'll both get the playoffs.
Yeah. Wild cards, you've gone for yourself. Obviously, I've not because I've already pulled you through as champions. I've gone for either Awoof or Blaine, just because I think End is too strong to not get 2 teams to go through from it. And wildcard 2, I've gone for Giants just from having played against him in that friendly and seeing him in the tournament, and also how he did in the Grim League. I just think he's as an outside bet. I think he's got a decent shout.
You do realise though that when he played in that tournament that you ran, he had 2 buys. But firstly, he got to play against the AI, and then he got to play against Awoof and his Kislev, who just melted every game. So.
I'm looking forward to you and him playing at some stage, because I'm sure that will come back to bite you.
I'm sure it will.
So you've gone for Lanicus to win overall.
Yep.
I've gone for somebody from End, and whoever.
That's very vague. Sit on the fence.
Well, the thing is that, like I said all along, I think anybody can beat anybody in End, but I think whoever comes through from that division will be the favourites.
I think anyone that comes through End will have a team left because they'll have faced Blaine and Awoof.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see at the preview of the playoffs. We'll see how close either of us were. Keep this slide, and we can compare it to what actually happens, and then everybody else can see how useless we are with these predictions.
I do think End and probably Jack will both come down to week 6 with still 2 or 3, 3, 4 teams that could still win the league.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Definitely in End, I think 3, 4, 5 teams could still win the league going into game 6.
And arguably the team in 3rd place might be the team that ends up in the driving seat in that league.
Yeah. So if 1st and 2nd get a draw, because they both need to win it and then cancel each other out. Then third place leapfrog them both.
It could really be conceivable that you got two or three teams that are on level points, or 1 point between them, and it's going to be really interesting. Well, I think all the divisions will be, but I'm disappointed in some respects that I'm writing my chances off because I just don't think I can conceivably beat all the teams that are in that division.
Yeah, so, and retrospectively, I'm writing you off now as well. I am changing my prediction to Blaine.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you went for me in the first place, if I'm honest. So we go on to your ones to watch. So you've highlighted the gutter runners first. So talk us through these.
Well, we've touched on most of them already, haven't we? As we was going through the teams.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Holly Gibney, who's got every skill going, and is strength 3.
If she gets enough, I know I said earlier on that I don't have a plan with any of my level ups, which is almost always true. But if Holly gets those additional 70 points, which I think is extremely unlikely, just to say, because I'm sure somebody will kill her before that happens. I'm so tempted with Leap as the next level if she gets it.
I think you would need like 10 points per game to get that level up before the final, and then use the Leap in the final.
It's
possible.
apart from the fact that I've already written myself off, it's not out of the question.
There's a couple of my old players in there, Cesspool Sid and Bruce Bryan, who've gone on to, I was going to say greater things, but they've not. Eric, you've let Bruce Bryan down, and Vexer, same for you. What have you done with Cesspool Sid? Also, I'm saying that, to be fair, Bruce Bryan has scored more TDs for Eric than he ever did for me. So
that is true.
He's not doing too bad.
Yeah, Eric's just pointing that out in chat as well. So we've also in this part not mentioned Nurgo's Chitter or
yeah, as we were saying earlier on, those two are absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
Toolkit movement 10 is just absolutely fantastic, and he's just got no response to it.
Well, you have. It's a big hammer to its face.
Well, what I was going to say is it's probably worth considering not putting that player on the pitch when you're defending, just so it doesn't get targeted and taken out.
Yeah.
So you've always got it for your drive to do the one-turn touchdowns.
Yeah, and then score in one turn, get your players off the pitch again.
Yeah.
Honorary gutter runner Reek the werewolf. I mean, this piece is frightening, isn't it?
Yeah. It's as soon as once that piece gets dodged, it's just wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, and it will dominate the league.
Yeah.
And I think even this season it'll wow.
No, I mean it's yeah. Let's move on because I'm just grateful that this is one of the players I haven't got to play against.
Yeah.
So yeah, we now move on to the draft's most coveted players. So we've talked a little bit about Sippy Cup. He's got massive shoes to fill in the fact that he was in such high demand, and Galadriel, the War Dancer that Isaac ended up getting, also was being fought over as well.
Yeah, these two have was, I'm sure, like say Sippy Cup went backwards and forwards, and I think same for Galadriel. To be honest, I think that player went to a couple of coaches before finally settling with Isaac.
I mean, Sippy Cup, yes, he's a Skaven Blitzer. He isn't. I think we said this earlier on. He's got Mighty Blow, and that's it. Compared to, he's only got one level for the amount he was in demand, and that probably shows. Although we have a glut of gutter runners and Saurus with block, we don't have a glut of Skaven Blitzers.
Yeah, both these players have only played one season, so it could be out of that allure that I'll have this player and I'll have them for next season as well for definite.
Yeah.
So part of that 2-season forward thinking kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think both have the potential to be extremely good picks. So I can see why both were in demand. Now we've highlighted them, they'll probably die in game one.
Made a mistake on the next slide.
Okay, tell us about your mistake.
I didn't change the title at the top. These players weren't on the draft. These are the league bullies. They're not the draft's most coveted players.
Okay. So so these are all Owuf's ogres with piling on.
Only 4 of them's got piling on. He's been very kind to us all. I wonder if the fifth player is only 3 SPP away from a level up. Will he take piling on as well? Probably not. I'm guessing it probably break tackle, but I don't know. Owuf is quite mental, so maybe.
Do you think he might take block?
Block's a double.
Oh, is it? Yeah, of course it is.
I'm sure if he ever rolled a double, it'd definitely be a block. Yeah.
But yeah, let's just move on because play this. So just to finish off, we've said he'll take tackle if he gets doubles.
Well, there is elves that he needs to deal with.
Yeah. So Brian the Vanquisher.
Last season's MVP.
Yep, and he's after so many outright records. I mean, he was by far and away the standout player from season 4.
Yes, so these records here, these I've pulled off the Bingo Ball website, and these are the lifetime records in BBL. And I think most of the players, in fact, I think every single player that's above him in each of these stats, all retired. So he's got all of these in his sights. And to be honest, more than anything else this season, that's my target, is to try and get Brian to the top of these, above qualifying for the playoffs.
I suppose that's the question: is can he have another season as good as last year? Because I'm not convinced. He was, every time he hit somebody last year, he got an armor break.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
And I'm just not convinced that'll happen again.
I think like 75% of his blocks ended up in an armor break.
Yeah.
So 75% of them at least were getting a POW and then going on to also break armor.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, he has got piling on, which
2
helps.
halfling teams and the Underworld team in my division, so there's a good chance that I can have a crack at this.
We will see when we come back together again for the playoff show. We'll again, this will be a slide that we'll return to see how he's done. And if he dies game 1, then that will be a very short discussion.
I'm just going to sob for the next hour if that happened.
So I think that's everything. We've got. So I'm really looking forward to this season as ever. So I think the first round gets rolled shortly. It's tonight anyway. So the first round of matches will be starting probably from tomorrow. So good luck to all coaches involved. May Nuffle be with you. And yeah, good luck as the season goes on. Final word from you, Dan?
Yeah, good luck everyone. It's been great these last few seasons. Every season I've been in it, and that was the one league that I'm always looking forward to playing in. I'm sure it'll be the same again this season. Definitely,
and shout out to coaches. 23 of us. One of us has got to beat him.
Well, it's happened last season. I lost to the nasty bunch of ogres, didn't I?
You did. Excellent. On that note, we shall see you all next time.
Yep, see you later.